There are some traders that spend thousands of dollars every single month on different options trading tools just to lose the same amount of money as everybody else. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you 6 free things to help you get started trading options and hopefully help you make a profit. And the first thing that you're going to need to start trading options is going to be an options trading app, which sounds obvious, but there are so many to choose from. And I just made a video on the best options trading apps, so you can go watch that video. But specifically, you're going to need an options trading app that has technical analysis built into it. And the one that I have back here, Thinkorswim, has all sorts of different indicators that you can add to your screen, and this will give you a general sense on where a stock is going. This is going to give you a trend, whether a stock is bullish or bearish, or maybe even neutral. And the indicators that I like to use are implied volatility, relative strength index, and MACD, which are super simple indicators, but that's the way that I like to keep it. Implied volatility is just what it sounds like. This is the expected move for the stock over the next year as a percentage. Then I use relative strength index, which tells me if a stock is bullish or bearish. If it's closer to 70 RSI, that means that it's bullish. If it's closer to 30 RSI, that means it's bearish. And if it's around 50, that means that the stock is neutral. This is also a good way to compare different stocks in the same category, such as semiconductors. So if AMD, for example, is trading lower than NVIDIA in terms of relative strength index, and I think that the semiconductor space is going to go up over the next year or so, then it might be worth buying AMD versus NVIDIA because it has more room to go up based on relative strength index. And finally, the last indicator that I like to use is MACD, which is a momentum indicator. So this is going to tell you if a stock is bullish or bearish based on the zero line. If it's above it, that means it's bullish. If it's below it, that means the stock is trading bearish. And this will also give you buy and sell signals whenever the lines cross over. Now, this is just a simple breakdown of these 3 indicators, and if you want to see a full in-depth video on technical analysis for options trading, let me know by leaving a like on the video. But that's pretty much it. When it comes to having an options trading app, you want one that has technical analysis built into it. If you don't have one that has technical analysis built into it, then you can use TradingView, but that comes with a monthly subscription, and you came here for free stuff. Another really important tool for options trading is finding a stock screener, and the one that I like to use is Finviz. Now, Finviz has a ton of functionality to it. You can find different stocks in specific categories, so if you want to search by, say, electric vehicle stocks, or if you want to search by semiconductor stocks, or if you want to search by large cap versus small cap stocks, there's a ton of different categories to choose from. And you can use this to compare stocks against one another by looking at specific profit metrics like EV to EBITDA. You can look at price to sales ratio, and there's so many different metrics that you can choose from. Another great thing about this app is that you can search by the biggest mover or the biggest gainer or the biggest loser for the day, and you can use this to chase momentum. But of course, whenever you're chasing momentum, you want to keep track of the volume, because if the volume starts to dry up, that means that the momentum is going to slow down. Finviz also has automated technical analysis built into it, so if you're too lazy to do it yourself, they can use this to find the trend for the stock, which way it might go. And then you also have analyst expectations. So this is going to tell you if an analyst is bullish for a stock, bearish for a stock, if they're overweight, underweight. So this is a really great resource for finding different stocks to add to your watch list. Another great tool that I use to add stocks to my watch list each week is Earnings Whisperer. So each week they post an image of what stocks are reporting earnings for the week. So I use that to add stocks to my watch list, and then I go over to the Earnings Whisperer's website, and this will give me the earnings per share estimate from Earnings Whisperer themselves. It also gives me the Wall Street consensus earnings per share estimate, and it also gives me a consensus on the revenue estimate for the quarter. So I use this in combination with looking at past earnings and taking an average over, say, the last 6 to 8 quarters. And I use this as a gauge to see if a stock is going to either beat the earnings estimate or miss the earnings estimate. Whenever a stock ends up beating earnings estimate, revenue estimates, and upgrades or guidance, that's what's known as a triple play, which is the ultimate bullish setup for an earnings report. And then if a company ends up missing on their earnings per share, their revenue, or if they guide down, that's typically seen as bearish for the stock. But Stocks don't always trade in accordance to how their earnings goes. Sometimes a stock can just end up trading flat, which brings me to the next important tool, which is going to be Options AI. Options AI has a great tool to where you can calculate the expected move for a stock for any upcoming event. So this can be an earnings report, this can be a product release, whatever kind of big event that would move the stock in a big way. So you can use this to get an estimate of where the stock should be in a specific range over a given time period. This way, if you think that a stock is going to move outside of its expected range, so if I'm bullish for Apple thinking that it's going to go up above its expected range, I could do, say, a call debit spread and get it for cheap because it's not expected to move that much. Or if I think that Apple stock won't go outside of its expected range, I could open a short iron condor by using the expected range prices and opening a call credit spread at the top strike prices and a put credit spread at the lower strike prices. So this is a really great tool for estimating how far a stock is going to move on the earnings report. And it also gives you past earnings reports and how much the stock moved after the earnings. So you can get an average of over the last few quarters and use that to gauge how much the stock might move again. Another great options tool for earnings reports is SECgov. If you go to this website and type in the ticker for the stock you want to look at, it's going to give you all of the past earnings reports, so you can look at the earnings per share and revenue over the past few quarters and use that to get a gauge of the average over the last few quarters. And SEC.gov has all other types of filings as well. Literally every single filing a company has made is going to be on SEC.gov. So if you want to look at insider buying or insider selling, then you can do that through Form 4s to see if executives are buying the company or if they're selling the company, and gauge whether that's bullish or bearish for the stock. And the last options tool that I want to talk about is going to be OptionStrat. OptionStrat allows you to see the profit and loss for your trade before the expiration. And you've probably already seen the P&L graphs on something like Robinhood, where it shows you your profit or loss on the expiration, but OptionStrat allows you to see before the expiration date and even more specific up until the hour. And this isn't just for regular calls and regular puts. They have a bunch of different strategies that you can choose from to come up with your profit and loss on different strategies. So you can do this on cover calls, you could do this on put credit spreads, you could do this on caller spreads, and everything in between. So I like to use this in combination with setting a price target for the stock at a given time or on a given date, and I use this in order to exit my trades. I'm able to plan out my exits because of OptionStrat, so this is a super useful tool. And hopefully you found all of these tools useful today. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of this video, and thank you to all my patrons for their support. And as always, remember to stay positive, stay green. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.